Okay. So, among other things, we were talking about personal grudges and semi-legitimate grievances that actually shouldn't, generalize. Sometimes those arise from no fault or anyone circumstances. Like currently, I needed to buy something from pharmacy, and it's hard to find it. However, I knew where I could find it, and the pharmacy was closed an hour early because of the Easter. And now I am extremely angry that, people close an hour earlier, just an hour, just to save the hour. An hour. Why? Does it mean that anyone that, I don't know, workers are lazy or something like that? No. It means that I am angry for personal reasons that don't have anything to do with the real analysis of the market and stuff like this. Now, do I think that in general closing an hour early is sensible because there is Easter? I get that for some places, some individuals, because they want to, there is this tradition that portion of breakfast that you will eat tomorrow is being blessed today. Do I remember that correctly? Something like this. So the blessings usually end at 1 p.m. So a lot of places that are open to 2 p.m. might cut it short. However, I would say that in general it's not that reasonable to, just cut an hour short, because a lot of people will either assume that you are not open at all or that you are open normally. And in the pharmacy that I was looking into, there was like a tiny handwritten note that I could barely see after looking. I couldn't find it. Oh yeah, that on a Saturday Easter we're open to 1 p.m. There is no way any reasonable person that's going even outside of this pharmacy and looks at the door or something like that they will notice this. Sorry. So, but does it mean that everyone who cuts Saturday short is like a bad person, bad worker? No, it's Easter. It's normal to assume that everything is closed. It's an addition that something is open. So, you have to recognize when emotions and anger and sometimes even your justification is going against logic, or at least it cannot be generalized. There are probably few, if they did it outside of the Easter, if they did it on normal day with such terrible messaging as they had or no messaging, and it was regular Saturday, yeah, that would be understandable only in like emergencies or something like that. But during Easter, that's like they usually do such stuff 3 or 4 times a year, and it's almost always like Christmas Eve, Easter, maybe sometimes it's last day of the year, you know, stuff like this, stuff like when you are expecting there to be disruptions. Do I have enough medicine? No, probably not. Can I get more? No, probably not without going like outside of a reason. So yay, we're going, especially since obviously Monday will be closed, so everything is closed on Monday. Everything. So if it was just normal, you know, weekend where I need medicine, it would be not pleasant, but you can, you know, stretch dose like 2 hours later, the next one 4 hours later, and, you know, add 2 hours to every dose and arrive at dose, because I'm lacking only 1 dose, so it's not horrible. But because Monday is closed, everything is closed, it's really, really bad. Okay. So I might have to drive tomorrow to Krakow, to the city. If I do, I will try to, and assuming that the screen holds for another day, I might take you with me if you are interested in seeing how travel to the city. Although we won't be going downtown, we won't be going to the, you know, old town or anything like that. That would be unreasonable, because driving there is not the easiest. I like that church. It looks nice. Okay. So I might take you with me and show you how the travel looks and why it is normally on a normal day not a good idea to drive there. It is legitimately tough to drive there. What else can I tell you? You must be sick of my basic talking. Listen, if you have any idea for what I could talk about, or what do you want me to talk about? Some topic of conversation. because my monologues aren't, interesting. It's like, pick a subject. It doesn't, like, if I will tell you if I don't know anything about the subject, but there are many things where a person can have opinion. It might be bad opinion, it might be worthless opinion, but there is opinion. And it's not like my monologues always touch on stuff I know boatload about. Well, mostly I try to talk about stuff I know something about, at least. So what? We could talk about F-15 being downed and A-10 being downed by Iran. I have to say that the not radar, but like optical targeting systems, like videos from optical systems or something like that, that were taking this, the dynamic range on them is so specifically picked that it looks like it was specifically picked to obfuscate things. So I am not certain that they are realistic. Maybe they pushed it through some filter so that they don't reveal their full capabilities. It's possible, but basically, if it's thermal, I don't know. It might be something like ground thermal vision without, change of temperature ranges applied to ground to air system. So then it would be only used for filming the shot. That's all. But so it would be basically propaganda, like genuine propaganda without too much of real value. Because yes, I realize that technically everything is propaganda, or everything could be propaganda, but I'm not going there because this is sadly an argument that a lot of people use to just dismiss everything. So let's not do this. Like blatantly obvious that if they hit F-35 last week, then F-15 shouldn't be a problem. Like if they were capable of shooting at F-35 and achieving a lock, no one should be surprised that they have something that can bring down F-15. F-15 should be harder a bit to bring down because it's a bigger, sturdier plane, not as delicate as F-35. But it depends on the warhead, it depends on where the missile explodes, because it was probably like proximity fuse, not direct hit, obviously. Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting that the road is locked here. Yeah, I'm doing a dangerous maneuver right now. getting slightly annoyed. Okay. No. No. No, I won't say it. It was a chicken. Possibly male chicken. Like, I didn't look. Rooster. Not the other. Yeah. YouTube wouldn't. Jesus Christ. I think that what fell was like a small branch, but something fell in front of my car and I love this drive. I love driving back to my home and being stressed. That's so fun. And my father still doesn't have his card from the bank. He should have received it this week. I have no idea why he didn't. Rather not think about how long this war can take, because sadly Trump doesn't sound, or he isn't like very reasonable person. So, and yes, I do realize that there are very hawkish but reasonable in some sense people in Pentagon and in Department of Defense and in State Department, and those would be people with whom I would disagree, but at least I would understand that they are competent in a way that I don't agree with. But so they are probably running the show, not Trump, obviously. But when you have such a person as commander-in-chief, that's always an additional problem. So, you know, Trump micromanaging troops is not something that you want. And because the peace talks, ceasefire talks ended, they were shut down yesterday. Now the ball is in US field. So, yeah. I don't know what US will do. Like, if they exceed another week at this war, they might stay there a very long time. And they might even then put boots on the ground or something like this, because basically what happens to the pilot, I mean not the pilot, the weapons officer of the F-15, and there are several other similar things. What happens there basically tells you how long the war will last. What's so dangerous about peace talks ending and the F-15 being shot down is that it likely extends the war by a lot. I mean, media must be happy, but because they will have something to talk about in a month or two. But the idea of... You see, I understand some hawks, so I will tell this from two perspectives. Perspective one, of a reasonable person, I hope, is that the idea of US being there for any significant amount of time doesn't make sense. And now I will give you a war hawk, but a person who's also reasonable, but from different direction, person who understands war. I will give you opinion from that side. Okay, the idea of US being in Iran for a long period of time just to end it prematurely before you achieve your goals because there are elections or something like that, that's sickening. It will be better not to go there at all. So that would be a position of a war hawk, of some... Listen, I lived a life. I had various opinions, and sometimes I was like, yeah, let's punch them in the face, even on the international level. But I understood those things, so I can put myself in a position of someone in Pentagon who's like, yeah, let's delete Iran, change the regime, take out the threat, minimize Chinese influence in the region, let's do all this stuff. And yes, on the other hand, you have to balance number of factors and stuff like this. Yeah, I can put myself in their mind, and I can see how much of a fine line they have to walk, and this is very difficult for them. So from both directions, this war better ends as soon as possible. Yep, the pharmacy here is closed. We arrived 6 minutes after the closing time. I was hoping that maybe it would be open. It sometimes is, but no chance nowadays. Okay. I will just buy myself something to drink. Well, buy. I don't have money, so I will have to repay it after the Monday. Take you, but you might get a vertigo because I will have to put you in this you know, in these. I will also have to, well, you will have a field of view wide, so yeah, it's gonna be weird. So okay, I hope you can see things. Just be quiet.
Sobie matka nie bardzo
Dzień dobry.
mi się przejmowała, a powiem ci, że chłopak w porządku.
Dobry, macie baterię do takich 9 V kwadratowe?
Proszę położyć elektronicznie. Ja chyba trzymam widzieć. Czekaj, patrzymy w okienko. W okienko patrzymy na baterię.
Tutaj
No te, no. Dwie takie.
Dwie?
No. Jest.
jest jedna, jest druga, jest tak.
No, są jeszcze.
Dobra, okej.
Proszę śledzić.
Large tower.
Bateria. Proszę?
I'm trying not to, you know, record people's faces too much.
Powiem panu taką krasnówkę na świętą Majtowicza w domu. Zaraz po ślubie, bo jeszcze pani kiedyś poszedł wyrzucić popiół i spadła mu obrączka, zima. Nie chce pan wyobrazić, że znaleźć. Śnieg,
Dobrze,
No.
to by znak.
bo miał ten wykrywacz tych metalów.
No właśnie.
Jakie? Elementarne? Co? Raz? Dzień dobry, 22 zł, 250 zł. A ile taki serwis kosztują? 50, to tam powiatkowany.
Dobra.
5 piw. Nie, nawet 4 8. Nawet 5.
Uwierzyłam pani na słowo.
Nie.
Metka panią
Nie
sprzedała.
metka, ale tamte są. Ale zawsze sprawdzam. Dziękuję. No, dziękuję ślicznie.
Czy ja mógłbym we wtorek za to zapłacić, bo po prostu w tym momencie już
Rozumiem.
gotówka uciekła chyba. Bo jeszcze karty tacie nie dostarczyli. Mieli dostarczyć w tym tygodniu.
Między świętami mają czas.
No, tydzień miał być tydzień, a
No tak.
już jest tam, no.
40,
44, tak?
tak, 94 groszy.
Dobra, 45 zł.
Dobrze.
Okej, dobra, no to chyba wszystko. Dziękuję. Okej. Okay. Apologies for that. And in case you were wondering if my phone was damaged without this heavy duty, no, that was on. That was on. and it was closed. So it shouldn't have, but sadly it's expanding, so in a week my phone won't be usable, possibly. Which annoys the hell out of me. We are so out of money because we bought this storage energy bank with our own money, not with credit, not with bank. And we should get our money back, but that's like second half of the year. So I bought, if you didn't understand, because like 99% of you, even if the words are similar, you might have not got it. I didn't pay for the iced tea. I said I will pay for it after the holidays. And if you've seen the big Nutella there, this was me who sold it to them. So yeah, from time to time I do stuff like this to earn some money, but this wasn't like a lot. I think I earned on it like maybe $5. Yeah, so in profits. Because of course the lady behind the counter is, she's a friend, so I'm just if I manage to find something, and for example I want to buy for myself, but I would have to buy unreasonable quantities for myself to not pay for delivery, then I ask her if she needs something, if she needs that as well, and then she possibly sometimes, it's rare, but she sometimes does say that yeah, she would also buy this. And then we usually just round up to the like nearest number that isn't like, that's enough to basically pay me for fuel or pay me for some small amount of costs, and that's all. Like, I'm not selling it to her to make profit. I am doing this to basically, finance the fact that I have to drive there, carry it there, and stuff like this. Okay. Take care. See you. Like, subscribe, comment. I beg you, comment, please. What topics should I cover? Military, foreign policy, history, something. Just try to choose a topic. Okay, take care. Bye.